to JoJo Cider Reviews and More. I'm JoJo. Tonight I'm joined by my friend Pat, who joined some of the shows I have on YouTube. Thanks for stopping by today, Pat.
Thanks for having me, man.
Very excited about this. Some of my friends know, maybe a couple of YouTube channels. I've been brewing Pat helped me brew at home brew beer about 5 weeks ago. And it's an American Pale Ale, and we're ready to drink it today. It's called JoJo's Lost in the Mail Pale Ale. Really, really cool bottle art, if you can see that. It says, so it's 4.5% ABV, 45 IBUs. And Pat knows I'm from Western Mass, West Springfield, so we put West Side on there. We call it West Side. Thank you, Pat. West Springfield, Mass. It has my channel emblem on there with my aviators that I like to wear sometimes, JoJo Cider Reviews and More. And you have some of the ingredients on there, Pat. Pale malt, crystal malt, El Dorado hops, oats. So I'm really pumped about this. I want to kind of branch out. I've been reviewing beer, but I wanted to get into the homebrew aspect of it. Pat's been helping me. We're going to maybe do one more brew after this before I kind of go on my own. So, Pat, thank you for, again, I appreciate it, man. Do you want to talk a little bit about the process, maybe a little bit about the recipe?
Yeah. So as Joe said, this beer is 5 weeks old, and general rule of thumb for your basic homebrew is it ferments for 2 weeks, and then it bottle conditions for 2 weeks. That's about as basic as it gets. So this is the 5th week that's been from start to finish. So it's ready to go. It's been refrigerated for a few days, which means it helps filter the beer out. This is a West Coast style pale ale, so very basic West Coast ingredients. This particular recipe called for US two-row pale malt, crystal malt at 60 Lovey Bond. That's the darker amber color that you see with most pale ales. And we included some oats for the head retention and the mouthfeel, so you get some of that moist mouthfeel. And then with the hops, it was bittering hops was with Simcoe, and the aroma was with El Dorado, which is what Joe really pushed for. Most of the recipe was kind of a clone of Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, which we've talked about on the channel before. I mean, I don't think it's going to taste quite like that, but the appearance is pretty close, so I was happy to see that.
And Pat, you said, so I know you've been homebrewing for a few years now, but you said like your first brew that you made from home was a pale ale. So is this like a good starter beer if you're trying to get into the homebrew?
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the more basic ales that you'll be able to brew. Minimal ingredients. I think it has enough character to make you think it's a craft beer, so to speak. Like it's super easy, very enjoyable if you can do it right, and I think what we're gonna have today, we're gonna enjoy.
All right, so 4.5%, 45 IBUs, American Pale Ale. Let's get right into it.
Yeah.
So got our bottle openers.
And it's kind of hard to review a homebrew that. Can we open it, Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I got it.
See kind of the cap there.
Just your standard homebrew cap, and it's.
Looks good, man. It's going for the pour.
It's hard.
Smoke coming out. Real quick. It's fresh.
It's hard for those at home watching this. Like, how can we review a beer that nobody else can really buy off the shelf? The best answer to that is this is your basic West Coast Pale Ale. That was the point of the recipe, and hopefully what we have in our glasses here is going to be that.
So, first thing I'm noticing, about a finger and a half ahead, slightly off-white, I would say, head, a little bit cream colored. The actual appearance, kind of a very burnt orange, caramel type color, like a light copper. There is some haze in there. It's not completely filtered out, it seems like, but it looks pretty close to a pale ale, I would say.
Yeah, there's a few reasons why it's not as clear as it should be, and we can clear that up for next time. I won't get into the specifics on this video, but the color is what you're looking for, and that's kind of all I care about at this point. We can clear up some of the haziness for next time.
Some sediment, but not there's some there, not a whole heck of a lot, but it's got that classic like burnt orange pale ale color, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the aroma. What do you get, Pat?
Give me some of that piney grapefruit, mostly piney. We did the aroma hops with El Dorado, and I don't know if we're picking up quite enough of that, but to each his own. I think the pininess is definitely coming through.
So what would you get if you were picking up the El Dorado? What would that smell like for the aroma, do you think?
I'll just hear a citrusy,
yeah,
and
I'm getting some orange, a little bit of citrus.
Yeah, I got that too.
It smells a little sweet, but I'm also getting, a little malty, and I'm also getting the grapefruit and pine as well. So I think it's true to the style. I'm not getting too much caramel in the actual aroma, but maybe in the flavor. So let's go right into it. Salute, man. Thank you. Creamy mouthfeel, I'm noticing right off the bat, really. Now I'm picking up on the caramel. So that kind of hit my palate first, and the back end, I'm getting some bitterness, not a whole heck of a lot. 45 IBUs, I would have said maybe it's a little less, but I am getting some bitterness though. But it's not like the IPA type bitterness, which I think is what you want with a pale ale.
Yeah, you want it to be balanced, not overpowering with the hops. It's easy to get carried away these days with just too much hops in your home brews and craft beers. But I think this is a decent balance. It's a good starting point. It's a good foundational recipe to build off from. You don't want too much of everything with a pale ale. It's as simple as it is. It can be fairly delicate.
I'm getting some pine, also a little bit of lingering pine, so I guess you could say kind of resinous, some ways. Again, I didn't get the caramel so much on the aroma, but I'm getting it on my palate personally. Citrusy. I'm getting the grapefruit pine, you know what I mean? It's good.
It's decent. It's drinkable at least. Right? Not bad for a homebrew, I guess.
Mouthfeel, let's say it's, let's say medium, lower end of medium. Pretty good lacing it's leaving behind if you can kind of see that. But it's definitely crushable, man. It's going down smooth, 4.5%.
Yeah.
No, I'm not detecting any alcohol whatsoever. Very well hidden. I think it tastes good, man.
Thank you. Why don't you tell your viewers just real quick, you helped brew this beer 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like literally 5 weeks ago to the day, you helped brew this. What was it like for you? Do you encourage it for others to try?
Oh yeah, I think I'm a firm believer if you really want to become like a beer, whatever you want to call it, enthusiast, you really got to experience the homebrew side of it. You can review beer all day if you want, but until you really know how to homebrew, I think that's kind of the foundation of beer. Because then you get to know what are the different ingredients for different styles. You get to know it's a lot of hands-on kind of training, which I really enjoyed. Learning about the mashing and different types of fermenting, and so I highly recommend it because it's great tasting beer, trying it, but I think homebrewing is a whole different category. There's a lot. It's in a different league, I think.
Yeah, seeing the work that goes behind brewing beer is, I think, super beneficial for any beer fan.
I already want to, I waited 5 weeks, and this was worth it. It's like, tasting, our own creation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the best part about it is, I have a long way to go with homebrewing, but to me, and this will never change, the best part about homebrewing is you can make whatever you want. And whether people like it or not, as long as you like it and you enjoy it, that's all that really counts.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really nice hobby. I already want to brew another one. Pat and I were talking about, like I said, maybe making brewing an Irish red, and Pat really got some good feedback from the couple he's done so far. So hopefully in a couple months we'll be reviewing that for you guys. What do you think, Pat? Should we score it? Or
I don't know. I mean, it's drinkable. It's certainly.
We can just do a review if you want. We don't have to score it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd give it a solid 80. I don't know. I don't want to put a number on it. I'd like to brew it a few more times, but it's certainly if I were to give it a letter grade, I guess I'd give it just a straight up B minus. Maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking an 84. I think it's a B.
I don't know.
Like I said, we're gonna keep practicing, and I think it's really good though. I'm gonna enjoy whatever I have. Pat brought 2 growlers, right? Crowlers, they're called, and about 27 bottles of beer. I'm gonna enjoy every last one. So it's honestly, we would be honest if we didn't like it, and it's not bad, guys.
No, it's I'm glad with what we came up with.
You even told me a couple nights ago, you're like, sometimes it just doesn't end up tasting good as much.
Sometimes it's just not what you want it to be, and that's okay. You'll still end up with 30 of them in your refrigerator.
So for a rainy day.
Yeah.
Well, it'll come in handy one way or another. So, anyways, thanks again, Pat. I might have you here for one more review tonight. So thanks for joining. Appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, salute.